It's been called the downfall of Diddy, but are we also witnessing a further downfall of Kanye West? The Grammy-winning artist that some believe is a musical genius recently went on a crazed social media rant that included, among other things, a call to free Puff.
The courtroom was already suffocating with tension, but when the name Kanye West hit the witness list, you could feel the shift in the air. Whispers turned to gasps. Security doubled. The press clamped in like vultures. No one knew what to expect.
Dominated headlines around the world for months, and as you know, not for great reasons. But over the last couple of weeks, another embattled rapper has been in the spotlight. Kanye West. And their two worlds have now collided once again, thanks to one of West's apparent tirades on X, formerly known as Twitter, which we'll get into, and it is something to say the least. But look, Combs is, of course, locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center right now out in New York on federal charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He's set to go to trial in May. Prosecutors say he forced people to have sex with him and each other, often allegedly having his staff hire commercial sex workers to participate. He's entered a not guilty plea. He has maintained his innocence ever since his arrest last September. And I should also add that it seems like almost every day, maybe every week, maybe every other week, he is hit with another sexual assault lawsuit. We actually have a sidebar coming out about a man who claims that he was drugged at a New York City nightclub back in 2012 and raped by Combs when he was 17 years old. We did another episode last week about an adult male entertainer, a dancer, who claims that Combs drugged him and forced him into various sex acts, literally physically forcing him to do it. And he claims he was a victim of sex trafficking, that this alleged abuse went on for 5 years. And we have claims that Combs allegedly assaulted men, women, and even children. And how can we forget that Combs is also facing a lawsuit from a woman who claims that she was assaulted by him, and talking another rapper, Jay-Z, back in 2000 when she was just 13 years old. Bottom line, Sean Combs is fighting a lot of different legal battles right now, and coming to his defense, coming to his side from a PR point of view, not great. A lot of people who've known Sean Combs haven't spoken out about him, and I understand why. Now, of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. He has not been found liable in any of these sexual assault cases, but brings us to Kanye West. Because let's talk about Kanye West, who's no stranger to controversy. West, for his part right now, he has been traveling a lot internationally. Vibe reported that he's been to Paris, Tuscany, Russia, Japan, appearing alongside his wife Bianca Censori, who is often scantily clad. West caused quite a scandal in Venice, by the way, when he was seen allegedly without any pants on, exposing himself on a water taxi in Venice. And of course, there was some of that happening here at home too. At the Grammys a couple weeks ago, West and Censori were being photographed on the red carpet when Censori suddenly dropped her coat, revealing her basically nude body. They posed for more photographs before eventually leaving. The rumor was that West and Censori were kicked out of the event for that stunt, but it appears to be just that, a rumor. But needless to say, he's been making the headlines. And that kind of gets you caught up to speed on both Kanye West and Sean Combs.
Kanye had been quiet for months, even years. But when he finally walked through those courtroom doors, everything changed. Because what he carried wasn't just testimony. It was evidence. Proof. The kind of truth that couldn't be silenced anymore. And Diddy? He wasn't ready. Kanye didn't come in with a filter. He didn't come in to play media games or protect reputations. He came in raw, detached. And when he started speaking, it was like a grenade going off. Because what he said confirmed the one thing everyone had been too scared to say out loud. Diddy didn't just host freak-offs. He recorded them, kept them, used them as tools, as blackmail, as leverage. And Kanye had seen the tapes. He started from the beginning. Said he had always sensed something strange about the way Diddy operated behind the scenes. Said the energy around him was off. Too controlled. Too secretive. And anytime someone got close to him, they either blew up overnight or disappeared without explanation.
And later that year, they worked together on an album. At the 2022 BET Awards, West presented Combs with the Lifetime Achievement Award, called him his idol, called him his favorite artist. West said he still went to Combs for advice and that Combs inspired many of his life choices, even his wife choices, perhaps in apparent reference to his then-wife, Kim Kardashian. But according to the Mirror, Combs has said that West inspired him as well. In 2009, Combs reportedly said that the other night I go to the Kanye West concert and I'm going there to see Kanye do his thing. I don't have anything but high expectations. The concert changed my life. I won't lie. I was so impressed and inspired. It was beautiful and I fell in love with hip hop again. And I want to say thank you, Kanye, for giving me that. However, just a few months after West presented Combs with the Lifetime Achievement Award, the relationship seemed to sour between the two of them when Combs took issue with West's t-shirts that said, "White Lives Matter." Now, he said during an appearance on The Breakfast Club that he thought the shirts were tone deaf. He would go on to reportedly say, including on an Instagram post, that Black Lives Matter was our slogan. That wasn't our slogan to go share with nobody else. You have to be unapologetically black and love your people and love your tribe first. Combs also added, what the press and what fashion is doing, thinking this is a joke, when right now all America is planned for is poverty, incarceration, and death. So before I can get to any other lives matter, which all lives matter, you know what I'm saying, that Black Lives Matter, don't play with it. And he added, don't wear the shirt, don't buy the shirt, don't play with the shirt, it's not a joke. Well, not long after those comments, Kanye West apparently posted screenshots of text conversations, messages between himself and someone identified in the thread as just Puff, seemingly a reference to one of the many nicknames that Sean Combs has had over the years. So West says in part in these messages, I didn't like our convo. I'm selling these teas. Nobody gets between me and my money. This is my grandfather texting you now. Never call me with no BS like that again unless you're ready to green light me, because anybody who got on that tea is me. Out of respect for everything you've meant to me, I'll be quiet as Virgil, meaning Virgil Abloh, who passed away. But now I know how I've hurt people I love with threats. And he seemed to follow it up with, come do something illegal to me now, please. Now, the alleged Combs side of the conversation responds, N-word, send me address. Let's stop playing these internet games and don't feel threatened. You'll be fine. Just love. To which West reportedly replies, this ain't a game. I'ma use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me.
But back then, Kanye didn't ask questions. He said the industry teaches you to keep your head down, to play dumb, to protect your seat at the table. But once he saw what was on those drives, everything changed. He said the footage came to him in pieces, random clips shared by people in Diddy's inner circle, people who were scared, people who were fed up. He didn't say names, but he described what was on those files in chilling detail. Multiple hotels, dozens of celebrities, people clearly intoxicated, some of them not even aware they were being recorded, some clearly underage, others crying, some in a state so far gone they couldn't even walk straight. All of it organized, directed, with Diddy always in the background, not always participating, but always watching. Kanye said it was like watching a cult ceremony caught on camera.
Kanye West shows up. Now, he is a friend, he is a supporter of Sean Combs, and he shows up in court today, or to court today, in dramatic fashion, but he doesn't quite get into the courtroom, does he?
No, he doesn't. Unfortunately, Kanye West, or Ye as he's being called now, he did not get his way, so he was not inside the main courtroom, nor did I see him inside the main courtroom at any point today. So it's unclear, and hopefully they do not know this, but I don't believe the jury has any kind of notice that Kanye West was trying to get into the courtroom. He was able to get in the courthouse. From what I understand is he was sent to the media overflow room with Christian Combs, which is Diddy's son, as well as Charlucci, who's been at a lot of days of Diddy's trial, as well as even the pre-trial stuff, and he's a good close friend of Diddy as well. But as far as Kanye West being inside the main courtroom, that didn't happen. And from what I understand, he was only in the overflow room for about 20 minutes before kind of making his grand exit and leaving. But I'm sure he'll try to get back to the courthouse, possibly later on in this trial.
And I understand he was sitting next to Sean Combs' son, so yeah, he was there for a little bit and then left. Would have been interesting if he was actually in the main courtroom. Apparently followed up with another post in which Combs allegedly texted him, As soon as I land, we'll meet face to face, to which West responded, N-word, F you. Now, in the final part of this alleged exchange between the two rappers, Combs allegedly wrote, I'm just trying to talk to you as a black man, and I'm talking to you because this is hurting our people. Stop. West apparently responded, anything you text, I will post. I love you, and you guys are breaking my heart. I accept your apology in advance. Okay, putting that to the side. Now let's get back to Kanye West and Sensori's red carpet moment, because just as the coverage started to subside, West flipped the script on his X page. So his page has since been removed, and I'll get more on that in a moment, but screenshots of his tweets show he posted in all caps, "Free Puff." He then went on to post or tweet, all these celebrity N-words and B-words is scared. Y'all will watch our brother rot and...
Not parties, rituals. And the way he said it, the courtroom went dead silent. He testified that he tried to confront Diddy once, years ago. Said he asked him straight up, what are these tapes for? Diddy laughed it off, told him to relax, that everything was consensual. But Kanye said it didn't feel consensual. Not when people didn't remember being there. Not when people begged him never to show anyone what he'd seen. Not when entire careers vanished overnight after trying to break free. He said one artist in particular, a female singer who was about to blow up, came to him in tears after attending one of Diddy's freak-offs. She told him she was invited under the pretense of a writing session. But instead, she ended up locked in a suite with strangers. Phones gone. Cameras in the corners. She was told to go with the vibe. She didn't. And the next week, her label dropped her. Her entire rollout got pulled. She was erased. Quietly. Permanently. And then Kanye said the words that made Diddy stand up from his seat. I saw the vault. I saw the master drives. The room exploded. Diddy lost it. He stood up, shouting, pointing, screaming that Kanye was unstable, that he was lying, that this was all personal. The judge slammed the gavel. Security closed in. Diddy's lawyers tried to restrain him, but it was useless. The courtroom saw the real Sean Combs in that moment. Furious, cornered, unraveling. The judge threatened to eject him. The jury just stared.
I stood up for Puff and I'm still winning 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl. He also tweeted that, or posted that slavery is a choice, which of course got some backlash from other ex-users. But West seemed to double down as his rant continued with, what you all gonna do? Cancel my sneaker deal? Cancel my record deal? Freeze my accounts? F y'all N-words. Slavery is a choice. I am speaking my mind now. I ain't editing S again ever. And he later tweeted, this man gave his life to us. This is my idol. This is my hero, seemingly referencing Sean Combs. And then there's this one, because he even announced a collaboration between himself and Sean Combs' fashion line, Sean John, saying that t-shirts would be made available on the Yeezy website, seemingly as a way to maybe raise money for Sean Combs or support Sean Combs as he's locked up in the MDC. And he also said that he and Combs would be splitting the profits 50-50, but later corrected himself, saying, I just found out that Puff is not allowed to make or collect money while he's locked up, so I'm going to send the half of the money to Justin, seemingly referring to Justin Dior Combs, Combs' son. By the way, the Daily Mail reports recently that both Justin and Christian Combs were seen arriving at the hotel that West was staying at in Los Angeles. Actually, it was reported they left carrying packages that contained clothing that was gifted to them by Kanye West. Again, this is according to the Daily Mail. This came, by the way, the same day that West apparently tweeted or posted, Puff is a way better dad than me dad and way better dad than me. He posted a photo of Combs on a red carpet with his children and said, I wish I had the relationship with my dad that Puff has with his kids. And West also tweeted over the weekend,
just for clarity, they trying to make an example out of Puff. Me and my brother had our issues, but these white people trying to use Puff to scare N-words. I'm neither scared nor brave, this just me.
And by the way, Sean Combs' Instagram account shared the post about the collaboration, writing, thank you to my brother Ye. Back to the shirt. The blue shirt with the Sean John logo that was apparently put up, it really wasn't up there for long because it was reportedly eventually replaced by something else. Do you know what that was? A single white t-shirt with a black swastika on it, selling for $20. Yeah. At the time of this recording, that website now appears to be offline. Kind of give you an idea of what's going on here. And from there, West's posts, they just devolved into what many people view as purely anti-Semitic, homophobic, and racist comments that we won't even dignify with airtime, okay? Now, West, unsurprisingly, has faced serious backlash in the past for his use of slurs.
Wide-eyed. They weren't looking at a legend anymore. They were looking at a man exposed. A man with nowhere left to hide. And Kanye? He didn't flinch. He kept going. Said Diddy's entire system was built on control. The freak-offs were never about pleasure. They were about leverage. About turning powerful people into silent hostages. He said he saw A-list names in those clips. Faces people would never believe. But there they were. Caught doing things they could never explain. And Diddy? He kept it all. On drives, on backup copies. He kept insurance on everyone. And that's how he stayed untouchable for so long. Kanye said the tapes explain everything. The sudden disappearances. The random loyalty from artists who had no reason to stick around. The fear. The silence. It wasn't about contracts. It was about what was caught on camera.
As well as what appears to be blatant anti-Semitism online and in his interviews. Some of those consequences have included loss of collaborations and sponsorships, as well as West's products being removed from shelves at stores like TJ Maxx and Foot Locker. He also underwent bans, some temporary, some not, several on his social media accounts. Although Elon Musk did restore his access to his X page in 2023, West did eventually post a message in Hebrew on his Instagram page in 2023 apologizing for his past remarks, but soon, he was back to sharing apparent anti-Semitic rhetoric, so I don't know how much good that did. But things didn't really improve for West when a former employee sued him for allegedly sexually assaulting her and then firing her later on. And by the way, this connects back to Combs, because Lauren Pashota, who filed this amended complaint in October, claimed that before she had worked as West's assistant, he had co-hosted a party with Sean Combs in Santa Monica, California. And she says at the time she was working with a different musician client who wasn't identified in the complaint, but who'd been invited to the studio party. And she claims that West told everyone that they had to drink or leave the party, but after drinking a few sips of her drink, Pashota claims she, quote, suddenly started to feel disoriented and began to slip into an altered and highly impaired state. And Pashota says that she doesn't remember anything else, woke up the next day feeling traumatized and disturbed. But here's the thing. The amended complaint says that Pashota initially was just mostly worried that maybe she made a fool of herself, that she was embarrassed in front of her then client or maybe even Kanye West herself by getting, tipsy. But Pashota reportedly believed that someone who had helped prepare the drinks was responsible for drugging her. But here's the thing. Years down the line, he allegedly confessed to Pashota that the two had, quote, hooked up at that party after she was allegedly drugged. According to Pashota, West was having an argument with his then-wife Kim Kardashian, who was accusing him of cheating on her with Pashota. And Pashota wanted to clear things up and suggested that she reach out to Kim to assure her that nothing had ever happened. But she claims West stopped her from sending the message, saying, we did kind of hook up a little one time. And she says he started to reminisce about that party years before. And when Pashota said she didn't remember any of that, he reportedly laughed and said, women love to say they don't remember. Now, that lawsuit between Pashota and West is still making its way through the Los Angeles civil court system, but it is another connection between Combs and West. But we have another connection between Kanye West.
And now that those tapes are being subpoenaed, it's over. Because once they go public, once even a fraction of them are verified, Diddy isn't just going to lose his reputation. He's going to lose everything. Careers, labels, maybe even his freedom. Kanye ended his testimony by saying he didn't care what happened to him anymore. That speaking out was the only way he could sleep again. That too many people suffered in silence while the world celebrated a man who was hiding something so dark it could tear the whole industry apart. He said this trial isn't just about Diddy. It's about exposing the game, destroying the machine that turned pain into profit. And if he had to be the villain to do that, so be it. The internet went nuclear. People couldn't believe it. The clips from the courtroom went viral instantly. Fans started connecting dots, old interviews, cryptic posts, songs that suddenly made sense. People who used to defend Diddy started deleting their tweets. PR teams went silent. Nobody knew what to say anymore. Because how do you defend this? You don't. You sit in shock. You watch the empire collapse. You start wondering how many others were in on it. Who else has tapes? Who else was blackmailed into silence? And who's next to be dragged into the fire? Kanye just blew the doors wide open. He didn't just give testimony. He gave the jury a blueprint. He confirmed every rumor that's haunted the hip-hop industry for the last 2 decades. And now the question isn't, did Diddy do it? The question is, how deep does it go, and who else is hiding behind those walls? This wasn't a meltdown. This was a meltdown with receipts. And for Diddy, this isn't damage control anymore. This is the end.